from being angry and upset and being aggressive in that mindset and being motivated in that way to now having an understanding I'm motivated by my wife and my daughter. And that takes a little bit to understand, that idea of being motivated and being happy in life, So I found my balance in regards to my outside life and where I'm at now, and my motivation with being a husband and a father, and my motivation of competing at a high level. So I found that balance, and I think I'm ready to go.
Now, with being ready to go with this fight, how do you look at this fight? You talked about your 1-2 in UFC, 19-3 overall, former Bellator champion. But this lightweight fight, how do you view where you will be with a victory in this fight?
You never know, man. One of my coaches, Mike Brown, he's a legend of the sport. He's a veteran of the sport. He's a former champion, also WEC champion. He had a great run in the UFC, and he's just been an incredible influence in my life since I've been an American Top Team. And he said it himself, and it's the way that this game operates. You're always 1 or 2 away from a title shot, or 1 or 2 away from being in that position where somebody's talking about you being in a title opportunity. So right now I understand I'm 1 and 2, in the UFC, but I'll never lose confidence. I'll never believe that I can't accomplish any goal that I've set for myself, and this is a goal that I've set for myself. And I believe after a win, going out there dominating Nik Lentz, I understand he's not a ranked opponent, so I can't get too excited about that, put that on a pedestal. But if I go out there and dominate him in a fashion that you can't deny, and I continue on from there, and I'll be back on track. So I'm not too worried about anything that happens after this. I need to focus on the task at hand.
You mentioned that Nick is not ranked, but the man has 29 victories under his belt.
Yeah.
And he's an experienced fighter, and he's fought a lot of competitors and all. So with that being said, for Nick, this is a good battle for you. This is a good, I don't know if you call it testing ground, but a good battle coming up for you.
Yeah, I think it's a between, It's one of those things where it's kind of like you have a guy that's put in a lot of work in his career, and he's become a little bit more of a gatekeeper type of deal, One of those things where, if you get down 1 and 2 and they still have a little bit of faith in you, want to see what are you going to do, what are you going to be capable of. Maybe they're saying, they look at your previous fights and they say the guy's talented, maybe he's hit a little speed bump, let's see what he does. And they put you up against a guy like Nik Lentz just to test you and see exactly what you're going to do when you come back from being 1 and 2, if you can bounce back or if you're just going to let yourself fall apart. So I think this is the fight that they've put in front of me to test me and see if I really belong, if I really want to do this. And I'm going to get out there and I'm going to put it on Nik Lentz. And I just believe that he's a gatekeeper type of fighter now. He's at the back end of his career, and he's just, I believe, just trying to survive and continue to make money and continue to compete. And, for me, I'm on a different level than that. I'm out here trying to win for my wife and my daughter. I'm trying to win because I want to be a champion. I've been a champion before. I want to be a champion of this organization. And October 7th, I'm going to run through Nik Lentz. I'm going to put it on display that Will Brooks has gone nowhere. I stumbled a little bit, but I'm exactly where I need to be.
Will Brooks.
Yeah, Will Brooks. Yeah.
Will be on his game come Saturday, October 7th, T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas, when he goes up in UFC 216 against Nik Lentz. Where did ill come from?
It came from a guy named Kevin Swatala, and I'm probably butchering his last name, but I used to train with him at the first MMA gym that I trained at. We went to an amateur fight, and they were asking if I had a nickname, a fight name, and I didn't know that people had fight names at that time because I was still a fan of like GSP or George St. Pierre and Matt Hughes, and these guys didn't have nicknames, they just were, that's who they were, and so I asked him, I was actually getting my hands wrapped, so I couldn't fill out the paperwork. And I asked him, hey, can you fill this out for me? And he filled out the information for me, and he ended up writing ill because in the gym, I've always been a pretty athletic guy. I've always been able to just do things instinctually and just do things that some other people can do. And he's an old school guy, and ill was one of the things that he said. He's like, he saw me do something, and he was like, man, that was ill. And then ever since then, he started calling me Ill Will and wrote it on the paper and got out to the octagon. They're announcing me, and the guy, the announcer, said Ill Will Brooks, and since then that's been my name. Yeah.
So you like it?
Yeah, I like it. I don't mind it. If fans like it, if they like it, I love it. So it is what it is. I stick with it.
What brought you to American Top Team? You're from the Chicago area, correct?
Yes, sir, yeah.
And now you're in South Florida, Coconut Creek American Top Team. So what brought you here?
What brought me here is actually just my management team brought me here, and then being here, actually, when we first came around, it was one of those things where I was in a small gym for a long time, and I made a decision that in order to get to the level that I want to compete at, I have to step my game up as far as training and compete with guys at a high level, compete with these guys who are in Bellator or UFC and these different larger organizations. So I moved away from that gym. This was the second gym I tried out. I originally went to Jackson's, tried it out there for a couple weeks, decided I'd come here and try it out here. I got here and just loved it. I fell in love with the camaraderie. I fell in love with the atmosphere. I fell in love with the hard work, hard-nosed culture that they have here, and ended up going back home and started doing just commuting back and forth, just doing training camps out here. And then finally, I actually, the very first fight I lost in Bellator, the very first fight I lost in my career, I just decided that, you know what, I can't be doing this commuting half-time, half on, half off thing. So I just told my now wife, then girlfriend, that, we're moving out here to Coconut Creek and we're going to start training at American Top Team. And, we just packed up and moved out here.
And this facility is huge too.
Yeah.
It's big. I mean, massive. So a lot of coaches, a lot of space, a lot of good equipment. This, for you being an athlete, you're a former amateur wrestler, but former college football player.
Yeah.
As an athlete, when you see something like this, you got to also be like, wow, this is really cool. This is good.
Yeah, definitely. You do get kind of in that position where you're like, wow, this is incredible, especially for mixed martial arts. You don't expect something like this for a mixed martial arts gym. But I think a lot of gyms in regards to mixed martial arts now is starting moving in that direction where we're creating these like Olympic training center type of facilities where guys from all over the world can come in here and train, and different cultures, different races, different ethnicities, different backgrounds can come into this facility and get everything you could possibly need, from great coaching, great training partners, great training equipment, enough space, showers, dorms that we have upstairs. Everything you need in order to be the best that you could possibly be is here, right here. So I think a lot of gyms are going in that direction, and it's just been incredible to be here during my short time and see the process that they've gone through to evolve as a gym and evolve as a culture in our gym, and just becoming a little bit more of a leader here, So it's really exciting to be a part of it, and exciting to see what's going to happen in the future.